Concerned about the durability of the brand new Insta360 Ace Pro? Fear not, my friends. I reached out to Insta360 to get to the bottom of these issues, and I have some really interesting information to share with you all. Stay tuned as we talk about the most commonly raised durability issues and discover if these are real or just paranoia. Full disclosure, I'm in no way sponsored by Insta360, and this video is not to just rubbish all these durability concerns and simply praise how great this camera is. In fact, I bought this device with my own money for my personal use to make YouTube videos. So let's get started. So the first and biggest concern about this device is the non-replaceable lens cover, which I find is a quite valid concern. If you look at it at a closer angle, you can see that the glass on the lens cover is quite flush to the surface, meaning there is no protection around the lens glass, or there is no raised edges around the lens glass in order to cushion it from an accidental fall. So I guess it would get a direct hit when it falls down. I did ask about this to Insta360. I asked them what type of material they use for the glass and also on the hardness level on Mohs scale. And I was for a moment hoping that they would come back and say it's sapphire glass, because sapphire glass is one of the toughest glass today, and it's used in all iPhone camera lenses and also in most premium smartwatches. To my disappointment, I got a generic answer that they use some sort of reinforced composite glass, and they assured that it's perfectly durable and safe, and they did not mention anything about the hardness level on Mohs scale. I'm not really convinced with the response, so I would say you have to find a solution to protect this lens cover. So the first obvious option is to use a tempered glass, and I did read a lot of reports that adding a tempered glass to a lens cover might affect the image quality. So I did test this out during the day and also during the night, and here are the results for you to see. So during the day shots, I really don't see much of a difference with and without the tempered glass. I don't see any degradation in image quality that much, but it's the night shots that I can see some obvious difference in the image quality. So if you take a closer look, there is some sort of haziness on the night shots, and also the lens flare is a bit more prominent on the video with the tempered glass. So I don't think tempered glass is the way to go. So what are the other options? Maybe you can use some sort of silicone, third-party silicone cases that has some protrusion around this lens cover so that it can cushion accidental fall. Okay, despite all this protection, you somehow manage to damage the lens glass. What are the options after the first year once your free replacement coverage expires? So I asked this question to Insta360, and they told me that they will be replacing the lens at a cost of 19 USD plus shipping charges. I think is not really bad, because if you take a look at the cost of DJI a replacement lens, it costs almost the same. The only issue that I see here is the time lost in shipping and receiving the device back, and also if you're in a country where Insta360 does not have official service centers, this could be an issue. But other than that, I think the cost of replacement seems justified. Is that the only issue with the lens cover? Not really. If you take a closer look at the lens cover, I see some obvious gap between the lens cover and the camera body. So it's not that noticeable when you take a quick look, but when you look at it at an angle, you can clearly see some gap between the lens cover and the camera body. So why this is concerning to me is that when you use it in a sandy beach, or if you take this into the ocean and if there is some sort of salt deposits, or if you take this in a dusty environment, I'm not sure if this will get into this gap and then eventually seep into the lens area. I'm sure there is some sort of rubber seal or some protection inside, but for a camera with non-removable lens cover, to me it personally makes no sense to have any sort of gap between the lens cover and the body. So I think Insta360 should improve on the quality control in the next version of this product. But is this really a deal breaker? Absolutely not. If you're using a silicone case or any other case, I think this is not really a problem. Okay, before we move to the next issue, please consider subscribing to the channel if you like this video, and do consider hitting the like button, as this will really help with the YouTube algorithm. The next issue is with the flip screen. So a lot of people raise concern about the durability of the flip screen and also about the flip action. I asked Insta360 if they did any sort of test in the lab and how many times this flip action is it expected to withstand. Insta360 told me that they tested it up to 10,000 times, and it's quite safe. If you look at it, 10,000 may not be that big of a number, especially when you compare it with against Samsung Galaxy Fold, where they tested it close to 200,000 times. But let's be real, this is not your daily driver, and you're not going to be flipping it like every few minutes, unlike a smartphone. Even if you take a rough number of around 40 flips per week, that's close to 5 years, which is not really that bad. So another issue that people raised was about the quality of the cable that connects the camera body and the flip screen. So I did ask Insta360 about this, and they told me that the cable is quite safe as it is encased within plastic, and I can also see that the cable is of good quality. Also, the cable is not too tight, so when you flip this screen, I can clearly see that there is good amount of play in the cable that makes this screen flip freely. So I really don't think this is an issue. Okay, so the next issue is related to the magnetic mount not latching with the camera properly. So I had this exact same observation when I got the device initially, and I tried it so many times and I could pull off the mount so easily. But then later I realized that I was doing it wrong. So when you connect your magnetic mount, you need to make sure that you push it a little harder so that you hear a very noticeable click. So there are 2 clicks heard. So when you initially connect it, it's a simple one, and then you need to press one more time to hear this noticeable audible click. And once it clicks in place, it's as solid as a rock. It's impossible to remove it. See, you can see that. Unless you press the side clips, it's not possible to get it out. Of course, when it comes to ease of use, it's not as easy as the DJI Action 2, where it connects so easily and you don't have to do any sort of extra push, etc. But with the Insta360 Ace Pro, you need to just give one more push to hear the audible click, and then you're set. So to me, this is not an issue as well. Okay, moving on. There were some concerns about the battery door popping open easily when the top part of the battery door gets hit against something, and I tried replicating this issue and honestly I couldn't. Maybe I was lucky. Even with multiple bumps, I really couldn't get the door open, but a push from the top definitely opened the lid easily. If you think about it, a push from the top is same as pull from the bottom, so I really don't see an issue here. In case the battery door on your Insta360 opens easily with a simple bump at the top of the battery door, I think you should get in touch with Insta360 and get this addressed, because mine doesn't. So that's it for today's video. I really hope that you found this video useful and it helped you make an informed decision. I will be doing a lot more tests in the coming days and posting my findings in the upcoming videos. So do stay tuned and please subscribe to my channel so that you do not miss out these videos. I will see you in the next one.